Yo everyone, Mango here, and started a little late here, but this is another video for our hero profile for the online trading card game Shadow Era. So today I'm going to be playing Praxix. I'm going to play him the only way I really like to play him, which is just a aggro style Praxis. And so this deck is going to focus mainly on spamming allies and trying to beat down my opponent as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. I'm going to play a card. This card, whenever it's summoned, both players discard a card. Let's see if I get lucky. I get unlucky. I actually discarded the one item, the one card I did not want to discard. And hopefully I get another one in here so I can show you the way this deck is meant to run. And that card is exactly what I wanted on turn 3. Let me see. And a crippling blow. That really sucks. And so I think I'm going to die here. So, well, let me see. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go here and end my turn. And so warriors tend to be one of the worst matchups for this deck, just because they have so many control abilities like this crippling blow. And I actually didn't put anything in here to deal with that. So it's it's my own fault for not putting in some kind of a tech. And he's got two of them early. So that basically shuts me down. I'm not going to have much of a chance to win this one. Let's see. Sacrifice this, put this guy out. And my turn, because this deck is all about dealing damage early and quickly and shutting down my allies immediately like that. It already means game over for the most part, because this deck just can't function very well getting into the mid game. And a jackal, wow. Okay, so let me see. So I'm going to go and I'm going to skip my turn. Let's go ahead and use this guy's ability. One shot or zero shadow energy. He loses one health, but I draw one card. Okay, and that's not so bad. Let's play this guy out, and let's use this ability. So each player discards 3 cards from their deck. Oh, nice. Oh my god. So lucky. So lucky. Deal 4 damage. So his ability deals damage equal to the number of allies that are discarded. So that turn I discarded 4 allies, so I dealt 4 damage. And this ally here, whenever this ally is discarded from anywhere, so from your hand or from your deck, it actually enters play instead with -1, -1. So usually this is a 4-3, but since it was discarded, it entered play -1, -1, and now it's a 3-2. Okay, so I see he's got the axe, that little axe there actually gains attack value every time you deal damage with it. So I see it was at 1 and now it's at 2. Okay, so I'm gonna skip my turn here. Use my ability to draw another card. And should I use this yet? No, I'm not going to use that yet. I'm going to summon this guy. You see, I'll target this and discard this guy, so I can place another ally onto the board. And so this guy, whenever you summon False Blood Cultist, you discard a card from your hand and you draw 2 cards. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'll come in here, attack, deal some damage, attack with this guy, deal some more damage. He'll take 2 damage because he reduces all damage to him by 1. We'll come in here, break that weapon, and then we'll come in here again, deal 3 damage. Okay, so end my turn. And so my overall super luck factor in this game might lead to me winning just because I discarded 2 of those allies from my deck. Oh, Bad Santa. So this could be his comeback. Let me see if he has abilities to at least shut down these guys. Oh, worse. He has a Fury and Terror. Deals 2 damage to all allies. And so that basically cleared my board. Okay, so let me see. What am I going to do here? I am going to sacrifice this guy. And I will play this card. This guy has haste. And for 1 cost, you can deal 1 damage to any target ally, and then it gains 1 attack value. So I damage him just so that I can take him out. And come in here, deal some more damage to my opponent. And next turn, I'll play the wagon and try to sneak in some good damage on him, and hopefully I can close him out in at least another turn or 2. That is unless he has another Fury and Terror, because another Fury and Terror right now would just wipe out my board and pretty much be game over. So see, 8 resources. He's really thinking this one over. So I don't think he has another Fury and Terror. Oh, but he has an Enrage. Crap. No, contaminated water. Wow. He just won the game. Damn, that sucked. So contaminated water reduces all of my allies by 1 health. It's not a card you see very often, but whew, it just happened to be the perfect card for him at that time. And that should be, I mean, he doesn't have any draw, but now he has a way to heal, and oh boy, he has a big guy in play. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay, this is going to help me. So I'll use this to deal some damage to this. So remember, any card, you can discard a card from your hand, and this card, when it's discarded, the opposing ally with lowest health takes 3 fire damage. So you see I deal 3 damage to him, and then I will go ahead and buff this guy up to 3 attack, and then I'll actually be able to kill this, and then come in here, deal some damage to that guy, and we are good. Okay, and turn. And I could get rid of this on my own if I wanted to. It'll cost me 3 shadow energy, and any player can activate that, but man, that would really suck to do that to myself right now. I kind of want my ability ready for damage. Uh-oh. So that makes his weapons and armors cost him 1 less. Let's see. I'll do this. I will go ahead and play both of these guys out. And then I will come in to deal some more damage. 2 damage. Another 2 damage. I'm kind of wondering if I should break that contaminated water now. Because if I break the contaminated water, all my allies will get back 1 health. If he has a weapon in hand with 2 attack value, I will at least be able to survive it with some of these if contaminated water is gone. Okay. Oh no, but I got 2 uses of my ability coming up and I might be able to kill him with that. Okay, I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm going to hope he doesn't pull into a weapon here. So let's see what he has. This card right here, what did he get? He's really thinking over his sacrifice. So I don't think, oh, look, I think he got rid of it. Ooh, Shadow Knight. Wow, that's scary. 1 turn away from being able to clear my board. Whoo! So what do I got? 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hey, I have enough to kill. But let's go ahead and show you what this item does. So this is the main item in the deck. And let's see if I get the buff. I do. So this item here, as long as the top, you see the top card of your deck is shown, so even my opponent can see it. And as long as that's an ally, all my allies get +1/+1. So this deck is mostly just all allies and then the meat wagon artifact to be able to buff those allies. And so let's give this guy a good game, my friend. And for all my moaning and complaining, I ended up coming out on top in that one. Uh, all right. So look at that. 8 minutes. That's the way this deck is meant to be. You're trying to play games as quickly as possible, and you really want to beat your opponent quickly. And so let's see what we got here. So again, this deck is just all allies, mostly. You have this guy here. This guy is 2 cost. He's only a 2/2 ally, but all damage to him that's 2 or less gets reduced to 0. So there's a lot of weapons out there with 2 or 1 attack. And so if he gets attacked by that weapon, does 0 damage. So it's a good way to whittle down on opponent's weapons. You could put in, here, let's use the filter real quick. Go to allies, and we will look at this card. So you could place this card instead of this guy. So he's 1/5, but for 2 cost, you're able to target and destroy an item or ability if there's 3 or more in play. So if you're playing against a warrior and he keeps putting attachments on your allies to keep them from attacking, if you have this guy in play, then you'd be able to remove those allies. Or not remove the ally, but remove those attachments. So this is a good tech card to have, to be honest, and maybe better than this guy. So I would probably say better to remove those two and to have two of these guys in there. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and save it like that. And then Harbinger of the Lost, of course, whenever he enters play, both players discard a card. So you have four of these in here because you want to trigger maybe this guy getting discarded, right? Or maybe this guy getting discarded. So you play this guy on turn two. Sometimes this is the top card in your deck. So on turn two, you summon Harbinger and he discards this guy. He enters play, and all of a sudden, for two cost, you have two allies on the board. And that's a good way to see your opponent rage quit. I know I do. And so Feasterling is the next ally in play, two cost. Remember, for zero cost he gets plus two attack. So with Meat Wagon in play, if you play this guy turn two and then play Meat Wagon on turn three, and there's an ally on top of your deck, then he would have four attack on turn three, which is really strong, and is going to take out most allies, except for Gargoyle. Gargoyle you have in here. This is kind of your anti-weapon ally because of all damage to him is reduced by one. So when Meat Wagon is in play, he becomes a 3/5, and so that means even Baduru with a weapon attack of three would have to hit him three times to kill him because his attack value gets reduced by one, so he only deals two damage each time. And so Rampant Krygon is just a hasted ally. With Wagon in play, he comes in and deals three hasted damage for three costs, which is really good. And then his ability, of course, target other ally gains one base attack and takes one damage. So if you target Gargoyle with that, he takes no damage because all damage to him is reduced by one. So that one ping damage gets reduced to zero, but he gains the attack value. So he would go up by one attack, but not suffer any consequences from it health wise. Brimstone Devourer, remember, discarded from anywhere. The ally with the lowest health takes three damage. If this guy is discarded from anywhere, he enters play instead with -1/-1 to his stats. Troll, Eternal Troll, when he's killed, he re-enters play. So you have to kill him twice in one turn. So if sometimes games are won or lost on when you can kill this card. So in my opinion, for the most part, if my opponent has a troll in play, even if he has another ally that's maybe a little more of a threat, I will target and kill this one twice just so I can remove it, because there's always a chance for this thing to stick around for, geez, sometimes 5, 6, 7 turns just because you're killing it one time a turn. So just remember, you have to kill it twice in one turn. Okay? Or if there's two of these in play, if you kill one and then kill the other one, then when you kill the second one, that one will not return to play because another troll has already entered into play. Okay? So also be careful if you have a troll in play and then let's say you summon a second troll and then you attack with the first troll and it dies, it will go to your graveyard because another troll entered play on that turn, the one that you summoned. Okay, so always be careful the way you play around this guy. And also, whenever you're playing against an elemental deck, like maybe a Praxix or a Zaladar and they're a fatter deck, you want to get rid of this card because there's too many ways for them to utilize it. Your opponent can utilize it with Sacrificial Lamb. It's the ability that kills your own ally and you draw cards equal to its cost up to three. So for Troll, you use Sacrificial Lamb on Troll and you gain or you draw three cards, but then it stays in play. Okay, and Elementals have Energy Discharge, which is an ability that allows you to target one of your own allies and then kill all opposing allies. So if they get to use it on Troll, then Troll will remain on the board because he dies and he comes back into play. So if so there's certain heroes that you really want to remove this because you don't want them to utilize it. Magia, a mage, enjoys utilizing this with Sacrificial Lamb to get draw. So you see it's a real pivotal ally, and sometimes it's the most important one to get rid of because your opponent can just get so much value out of it. So if you can, try to remove this as soon as possible. And by the way, this deck I think was originally posted by TJ Streets Ahead. I think it's card for card everything he had in his deck. I'm pretty sure it is. And it's a good aggro style deck, and it functions pretty well against pretty much everything. It does well against the entire meta. Some decks it doesn't do so well against would be Priest because they have the massive board wipe, and mages have a board wipe, but usually you get to deal enough damage to them where that gets mitigated. But it depends. Gravemonger. This is one of your heavy hitters in the deck. So you didn't get to see this, but when you summon him and you have 6 cards in your graveyard, or your opponent has 6 cards in your graveyard, you get to target and exile one of those cards, and this card gains 2/2. So it goes from 4/4 to 6/6. And then if you have Meat Wagon in play, it becomes a 7/7. Okay, so it could be your late game finisher if your opponent doesn't have a way to get rid of it. This is one of your 2 sets of draw engines. 4 cost, discard a card from your hand, draw 2 cards. So again, great synergy with the Brimstone Devourer here, to deal damage, to deal some damage to an opposing ally, or with this guy to place an ally into play. Stardust Extractor, 4 cost ally, good stats. For 0 shadow energy, you activate it. Remember, he gets reduced by 1 health, and you draw a card. So this is a pretty good draw engine if you get it to stick. And then with Meat Wagon in play, you get 1 extra turn from it because he gains 1 health. And so Meat Wagon, this is the key to the deck. The only reason you didn't see me play it earlier in the last game is because my opponent was a Terra Dune, and Terra Dune is able to destroy artifacts. And so I put it into play, and I only get one turn out of it. And I ended up not needing it because I got really lucky with my ability usage, and I dropped 2 allies into play. But remember, the top deck of your top card of your deck becomes viewable, and as long as the top card of your deck is an ally, then you get all your allies have +1/+1. So that's why you see no abilities in this deck and no other items, because you really want this activated as much as possible so that your allies are always getting that buff. And so let's go back to Praxix real quick. So Praxix for 4 shadow energy, all players discard 3 cards from their deck, and then target opposing hero or ally takes damage equal to the number of allies discarded. So of course this hero can be it was commonly used to mill style decks because of the ability, obviously. But he also works well with this kind of an aggro style deck because if you have all allies in your deck when you activate his ability, then you're likely to at least get 3 damage out of it on from things discarded on your side, and maybe you deal additional damage by discarding this guy, or like you saw in my game, you get to get some free allies into play by discarding these guys. And so good, good ability, solid ability. It can be sometimes you can discard crap and from your opponent, and sometimes you get to discard good stuff from your opponent. You never know. So that was Praxix Wagon. Again, this was just an aggro style deck. But if you're looking for something you just want to grind out some games quickly, maybe 3, 4, 5 games, and you just want something aggro style based, up tempo, great deck to play. It's gonna You'll have a lot of fun with it, and sometimes your opponents are just not able to keep up. It just depends on what kind of class and hero they're playing. So again, this was Praxix in our Hero Shadow Arrow profile. And again, do all the stuff that the pros ask you to do, like, share, subscribe, all that crap. And just help us get some exposure with these videos so everyone else can see how much we enjoy the game, and we can get them in here to enjoy it with us. Okay. So again, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.